Hi everyone, I am Arun Dech from Department of Mechanical Engineering of ACE College of Engineering in Thiruvananthapuram. Okay. Okay. Today, uh, myself with my two colleagues are presenting this webinar uh, to project the uh, importance or relevance and the prospects of doing mechanical engineering. This webinar session is mainly intended for the young engineering aspirants, especially the students studying in plus one, plus two, and also for those students who already passed plus two and got the first allotment through KEAM. And some of you may have already chosen your favorite branches. Some of you may have chosen mechanical engineering or some other branches. Okay. Towards the end of this webinar, we hope uh, those who have already chosen mechanical engineering, uh, you would be delighted to know that your decision was right. So, why mechanical engineering? So, if we're talking about the different engineering branches, we know that there are many different areas of engineering are available as of now. Different new streams, engineering streams are coming, and the mechanical is but the one of the oldest and broadest of the engineering branches. We could even say that is a mother of all engineers, because I'm not just saying that. You will understand that why it is so, because it is only one branch which has a close relation with the human civilization. You know, uh, in each and everything in our daily life, you can see the touch of a mechanical engineer. Even if you are looking at the laptop, I'm presenting through a laptop. The design of laptop, this aesthetic design, the ergonomic design of this laptop, it is actually done by an industrial design. Industrial design is actually a subsidiary of machine design, which is a subject in mechanical engineering. Okay, so everything, the shape, talking about the aesthetic design, the shape of this mouse is actually uh, design. It's artistically designed. Actually, it is a more of an artistic design. But there is some point of utility, consideration for the utility as well. Everything we use, the chair, table, everything is studied well based on human anthropometry and ergonomic study. Everything is done before reaching to this final design. Okay, so that's why I'm saying that if you look around you, there is a every object you see has some touch of a mechanical engineering. So, as a definition, we can say the mechanical engineering is an application of physics, mathematics, and material science, which helps us to design, analyze, and manufacture, and also maintain different machines, mechanisms, which we use today. We can see the applications of mechanical engineering everywhere. Actually, we will see its application, this range of mechanical engineering in our day-to-day life in coming slides. So the mechanical engineering, the brand itself was actually well developed as mechanical engineering. It was during the 18th century, during the period of Industrial Revolution. And these are the some notable incidents happen in the mechanical engine related to the mechanical engineering. In the 18th century itself was the first steam engine, which was initially used for the locomotives and automobiles. It was developed by Nicholas Joseph Cugnot. Then later, Carl Benz developed a patented car called motor wagon in 19th century. Can you see that picture? This is actually the first version of a modern car. Do you believe that? This is the first car actually used an engine similar to an engine which is used by our modern cars, because this engine is an IC engine, internal combustion engine, powered by gasoline. So our modern cars are also powered by gasoline. We say petrol. It's actually have to call as gasoline. Okay. Okay. I hope you have seen this picture. Uh, okay. Then later in 20th century, the Ford Model T. Actually, it is a most successful and first mass-produced car in the history of automotive. And before that, there were cars available which were very costly and not reliable at all. Okay, and it is actually the car which made the more popular among common people as well, because it was more affordable than its uh, previous versions available till then. The Ford Model T is one of the car which made the automobile industry revolutions. So, if you are going back to the human, I already said that it has a close relation. The mechanical engineering has a close relation with the human civilization. We are going back to the history during the Stone Age itself. We can see the application of mechanical engineering, the invention of the wheel. The invention, the human actually invented the use of a circular shaped object and its potential to easily move heavy loads from one place to another without much effort. Actually, this leads to the modern wheels, the invention of the wheels. This is the application of mechanical engineering. The second figure, you just look at this figure. This is a catapult. It's actually a weapon. You maybe have already seen this in some movies. Recently saw a film called Bahubali. You already have seen this weapon, and this is actually the working based on the principle of leverage. It's application of mechanical engineering. This is the same principle behind the seesaw you could have seen in the uh, 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 children's park, and the scissors is all based on the principle of leverage. Then, if we are looking at this picture, look at these pyramids built in Egypt. Have you ever wondered how this massive building was actually made during that period, where the huge cranes was not available? How these large blocks, which are used to build this pyramid, how they lift the people lift the large blocks to such a height? It's based on a simple principle called a wedge. Okay, this wedge, this inclined surface helps us to lift the heavy blocks to a height with a lesser effort. This was a principle mainly used during that time. These are all we can see the simple physics. These are actually the application of physics. The application of physics is what we do in engineering. especially in mechanical engineering, we do the application level. We already learn a lot uh, in your schools itself. There is nothing more you need to study. You are actually relearning. Maybe we can say in how we can we can utilize the physics, the knowledge we know, how we can utilize this in an application side. That's what actually uh, engineering is all about. If you are looking at the modern era, we can see the lot of applications in mechanical engineering field. We can see the energy sector. If you are looking at the energy sector, the windmill, the thermal power plants, solar power plants, everything. In the case of thermal power plants, the coal or diesel or some other fuel, it is being converted. The energy, the chemical energy available is being converted to mechanical energy, then to electrical energy. In the case of windmill, with the fan, the biggest blades are actually designed by mechanical engineers. These blades are designed so that it can uh, easily catch the maximum output from the minimum wind speed. So it can produce a rotation with the minimum wind speed, and that rotation will be converted to uh, the required RPM for generating the electricity based on some gear system also. So some gear system also associated with it with this. These are all the area of mechanical engineers doing. Then in the case of automobile, industrial robotics and automation, here we can see some industrial robots. They are doing some paint works on a car. These how these robots are actually a product of mechatronics. Mechatronics is a combination of mechanical engineering, electrical electronics engineer. Okay, this there also we can see the involvement of mechanical engineers. These arms are the huge arms are actually designed by mechanical engineers, and these are moved by means of some motors, and some sensors are also used. Some control systems also are incorporated to do the job. Okay, what about this robot? The robot here, the robot has an arm, so it also have some moving links. So there also we need mechanical engineers, not only any particular engineer like engineer who have completed electronics engineering or computer science engineering. Not alone can build a robot like this. Involvement of mechanical engineers also required. Okay, so the design of these arms is required. Kinematic analysis is also required for designing these links. Then in the case of artificial intelligence and machine learning also, we can find a, a huge job prospects for mechanical engineers. Mechanical engineers are actually eligible for any job because they are also now doing or studying coding. Okay, it's not any about any uh, there may be some misunderstanding that, but mechanical engineers are also learning some coding. Okay, so they are also capable to do works in. If you are looking at, actually we are looking at the IT industry, we can see loads of mechanical engineers they are there, because IT industry know the capability of mechanical engineers. There are some projects, there are lots of projects there that the mechanical engineers can only do. So they need a mechanical engineer equipped with some coding knowledge also. So already we are doing coding, learning the coding. Mechanical engineers are learning coding. So in the it's an artificial intelligence and machine learning is actually a emerging area, and lots of jobs are coming in this area. So the mechanical engineers have lots of scopes in this area also. We are looking at the design, testing, and analysis of machines. Here we can see two cars are being crashed. Actually, it's a crash test. Okay, this is a crash test. It's called the new car assessment program. It's a part of new car assessment program. It was not popular. It was popular only recently in India, but across the globe, especially across Europe and uh, US, this test is necessary if we need to sell a car in the market. This crash test actually ensures that even if a car collides, its passenger compartment and the passenger safety is ensured. Passenger compartment shouldn't collapse. Okay, the passengers inside this cabin should be given enough protection from the collision. That's what actually measured or tested during these crash tests. So we know the crashing a car and destroying actually distortion is happening there. A lot of material is wasted, so it is actually a costly process. So every time before doing a crash test, this car is actually simulated. This test is actually simulated using the help of some software. A model is actually we develop. Mechanical engineers develop a car model using CAD software. Then CAD software is for computer-aided design software. So mechanical engineers learn to design a car model, and they conduct the simulation of crashing by using a CAE, computer-aided engineering softwares called analysis softwares in general. Okay, with the help of these softwares, the mechanical engineers can ensure, and he can also redesign if necessary. Okay, if the car is in simulation, by doing the simulation, we can avoid the wastage of by uh, crashing a real car. We can first simulate the car and study the structural integrity of the car, and if any problem occurs, we can redesign and again simulate. Okay, once the car pass the simulation test, then only it will go to the production line. Anyway, the crash test is a necessary. So the before the manufacturers go for mass production, the crash test will be conducted for a prototype car will be used. Okay, then only the car will be made available in the market. Then in the if you are looking at the mining and mineral sector, actually a primary sector, the oil and minerals which are uh, managed. These sectors are actually designed, and these equipments to mine the oil and minerals from the earth surface is actually these machines are actually who developed these machines, who designed these machines, who are managing these machines. Okay, these are essential part of human life. We know that fossil fuels, how important it is in our daily life. We know that. Okay, so everything is actually involved by the mechanical engineers. Okay, that's the importance of this branch. Then, if you are looking at the defense sector, the institutions like DRDO, it's actually very famous. We know it is a defense research and development organization under the government of India. So here, there also you can find very interesting and fascinating jobs. Those who are willing to or dreaming of doing or joining a defense sector, you don't need to. You can help the our defense system by working behind them, by developing the machines, modern equipments and machines to help them. Okay, that's what actually DRDO and all do it. As I already said, the aesthetic design of the products is actually part of industrial designing. coming under machine design in mechanical engineering. So its importance we can see uh, how these supercars, bikes, or each and every product which are we see in daily life are actually designed by some industrial designer. Okay, so the designer will design these bottles so that it looks attractive to them. Some people have some hobbies to buy some bottles not because of its content, only because of its appearance. This is actually the marketing strategy. The how the bottle can be more attractive. That's what actually the designers do. uh, the people get attracted to the aesthetic appearance of some products. Okay, so beyond that, it is actually an artistic touch. Beyond that, the structural integrity also will be checked before going into production. This is all done by mechanical engineers. So if you are looking at the fields of application, we are, as we already see, designing, building, management, marketing, testing, quality, artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, mining, energy, defense, medical, etc. Medical sector also we have lots of application. We know some Siemens, Thermopenpol. These are some companies, respected companies working in medical field. Do you know how these doctors are doing laparoscopy surgery, or even a simple surgery? The doctor need a blade, right? Some kind of holding mechanisms are required. Who designed this? Who designed this? So mechanical engineers have done that. So that's why I'm saying that the scope of mechanical engineering has actually widely spread across everything in our day-to-day life. We are looking at the divisions of mechanical engineering. We can see thermal engineering, design engineering, manufacturing sector, material science, aerodynamics, robotics, industrial engineering, and management. These are actually the core subjects which are coming under the mechanical engineering. Thermal engineering mainly deals with the conversion of heat energy to useful work. It can be mechanical work as it we do in the case of automobiles or any engine. Okay, that in industrial engines are also available. Not engines are available not only in the automobile, in then the design of different equipment. As we already said, in the case of aesthetic design, and also in the case of medical instruments, these are actually designed. So designed by then each and every component of a machine or an automobile is actually designed. Okay, designed to withstand different loads coming on it. It's designed for safety. Okay, so actually design subject actually deals with that. Then manufacturing sector. Manufacturing is an art. Actually, this have to be done very carefully without having any loss. You have to carefully manage the men and material. So these are also, and different manufacturing technologies are also we learn how effectively we can convert materials to our useful products. These are actually we studied in manufacturing. Then material science is a very very important subject in the case of mechanical engineering. So each and every material has some or other properties associated with it. Some may be useful to our purpose, some may be not. So based on our requirement, the right material have to be chosen. So nowadays we are actually engineering the materials. We are making new materials. Okay, not only the available conventionally available materials are used. We engineer the new materials in order to withstand the extreme conditions required. Okay, uh, the importance of material science can be explained with a simple incident about the tragic accident of Titanic. The Titanic ship, actually that tragic mishap would not have happened uh, if the material used for the riveting material used. So it's actually one of the reason. There are some other reasons also associated with the design of the ship itself was not uh, according to the safety standards actually we follow for the modern ships. Okay, so design of ships were also not much developed then. The actually the material, the poor material used also added to the severity of the accident. The material actually used was not sufficient to withstand the extreme cold condition of the Atlantic Ocean. The material has a tendency to change its strength over different temperatures. When the material was subjected to the extreme cold temperature, it became brittle in nature. That actually led to the failure of that material, and the ship's hull was easily broken when it hit the iceberg. That's what actually happened there. In the case of aerodynamics, also how the aerodynamics is a very important topic for designing the cars, like designing a helmet. So the aerodynamic shapes have to be implemented there, because in order to, so air has some friction. It can impart some friction to a moving object. So if we want to move faster, we have to design a shape that can reduce the friction of the air. Okay, that's called an aerodynamic shape. So this aerodynamic shape is actually we have to design it. We have to check whether the air is producing more drag or not. So these are actually have to be done. This is also a subsidiary of mechanical engineering. Then automobile engineering also there. Then robotics. The robotics already said it's not only handled by a computer science engineer or an electronics engineer. The basic moving parts have to be actually developed by a mechanical engineer. Okay, so this there also we can see the importance of this branch. Then industrial engineering and management. Industrial engineering, as already mentioned in manufacturing, the industrial engineering is very important branch in managing the material in a factory in order to make the maximum productive work output from that factory. So managing people is also very important. So in order to work as a team, when you are going for a job, in order to work as a team, you need to manage the mm, people also, not only the material or some uh, things. You have to manage the people also. You have to learn to manage the people also. Okay, so these are all the management principles are also learned in mechanical engineering. So what skill you earn? What skills you earn? So if you are listing out some skills, we can say that analytical skills. Analytical is actually the what is the requirement of for a current situation. So actually, the engineers in general are problem solvers. They are creators. So in mechanical engineering, if we're talking about mechanical engineering, in order to solve a problem, the mechanical engineer needs some analytical skills. This will actually develop during automatically during your engineering studies. So critical thinking skills also you will earn. Critical thinking means based on the construction, based on the constraints, government standards or some rules will be there. You have to design or find a solution within that constraints. So you need some critical thinking skills also. Then you will have some math skills, then some management skills also, as already said, then quality supervision, inspection, then ultimately the decision making skill. These are all actually the students earn during do engineering studies. Then software skills, CAD, as I already said, CAD, CAE softwares, MATLAB softwares, then Python programming software is actually very important for machine learning. Then CNC machines. These are all actually the software skills and some skills that you will earn during by doing the mechanical engineering. Okay, by this point, I would like to hand over the session to my colleague, Mr. Afzal Mohammed, and he will continue with the job prospects uh, in mechanical engineer.
Good afternoon. I'm Afzal Mohammed, Assistant Professor at Department of Mechanical Engineering, ACE College of Engineering. I would like to take over from Arun Sir to continue this webinar on prospects of mechanical engineering. Arun Sir took you through the past and present of mechanical engineering. I would be giving you a little glimpse into what mechanical engineer offers once you graduate from the stream. Mainly first, we all do graduation. Our prime objective while doing a graduation is to get a decent job. So once you do a BTech in mechanical engineering, what awaits you is numerous job opportunities in private sector, the government sector, from job prospects from abroad, as well as you also have option to do higher studies. I'll be taking you through one by one. As we all know, private sector are companies run by private individuals or non-government companies, maybe publicly held companies, but not government-run companies. That is involved in various fields like construction, like oil sector, and so on. While coming to the government sector, it would be jobs offered by either state governments or central government, or central government run institutes or state government run institutes. Speaking about job prospects abroad, mechanical engineering is generally pursued, especially in our state, to obtain jobs, especially in the Middle East. Middle East has a wide variety of jobs for mechanical engineers. Not only Middle East, even though the graduates in mechanical engineering from Kerala target jobs from Middle East, we also have job opportunities in Europe, in America, in Central Asia, etc. Another option you have is higher studies. That would be masters, either in management or in the mechanical field itself. Either go for MS in engineering or take a new turn through to management field. Now, by going into speaking in detail about the private sector, the first thing that comes to our mind when we think about mechanical engineering is the automobile sector. If you go through the news and so on, the automobile sector is an indicator of our economy. Always, it has been always in all the nations. The growth of the automobile sector indicates whether the economy is in a stagnant position or if it is growing. Even during the COVID period, we had a negative sales, or there was no sales during in the automobile sector. And coincidentally, we also knew that at the same time, our economy went down. So an economy state can be actually indicated by the automobile sector. In the automobile sector, we all know it involves 2-wheelers, 3-wheelers, 4-wheelers, or even bigger transport. We all know how mechanical engineers, Arun sir took you through how mechanical engineers will be implemented in the automobile sector, will be involved in plants in the manufacture field, the manufacture of cars, the body of the transmission system, the IC engine, the petrol, the diesel engine. We right now we are from a transition from the IC engine field to electrical field. Even in the electrical field, Even if we have motors running these cars, we also have the transmission system. We also need gears. We also need suspension systems to keep this car running. So even if there's a switch from the IC engine, so the petrol and the diesel sector, to the electrical field, uh, there will be still, a vast variety of jobs, either new jobs coming to the mechanical engineers or existing modifications to the already filled up jobs by mechanical engineers. Now, we all know, generally, mechanical engineering is equated with automobile sector. So I don't think we need any more, explanation to it. Now, coming to the next field is the energy sector. In the automobile sector, we have various companies like Maruti, Tata, Chevrolet, of course, Ford, then Hyundai. Coming to bigger vehicles, JCB, we have Bobcat, which are the earth movers, etc. Now, coming to the energy sector involves or deals with producing energy for a nation. Now, where does mechanical engineers are employed? We can look at the oil sector first. The world is run on oil. India has a shortage of oil. We don't rely more on oil because we have limited oil resources. But what we have in plenty is coal. In India, most of our power plants are run on coal, and this coal has to be mined from coal fields. This needs expertise in, or this is a field that deals with metallurgy and mining. And metallurgy and mining is a mechanical engineering field. One is the extraction of these resources from the mines and then converting it into forms that can be converted to energy. For example, crude oil. Crude oil is what we get from earth. Now we have to convert it into petrol or diesel or kerosene or other products like lubricants. All of these require mechanical engineering expertise, or this is where mechanical engineering jobs are at. The energy sector, as we all know, in Kerala, we run mostly on renewable energy, which is hydropower. Again, in hydropower, the hydropower involves large turbines, pumps, the building of dams. All these has mechanical engineering aspects to it. As we all know, we generally when we look for jobs in the Middle East, the Middle East is equated to the oil fields. Most mechanical engineers target oil field jobs in the Middle East, which is at Co or at NOC. All these involve extraction of oil, testing, then working in refineries, conversion into energy, making of steam boilers, working in boilers. So energy sector basically deals with all these things. This is where, so we can say that we can have equipments, all these gadgets, equipments, but in order to run these, even if it is electrical equipment, in order to run these, we'll need mechanical engineering help, which would come from the energy sector. Then the next field is the design field. In the energy sector, we know in India we have Reliance, which is the biggest private player in the energy sector, and also Adani Power, Tata Power, etc. They all employ mechanical engineers. Now, coming to design field, Arun sir already took you through the design opportunities for men. It could be the product design, aesthetic design, and so on. Designs companies are numerous. They could be general startups or big companies. Even in Tata Elxsi. Tata Elxsi is a IT firm run by Tata Group for their automobile field. Even they employ design engineers to modify or make new design for their automobiles. So this is where design field comes into play as far as mechanical engineering is concerned. Now, the next field is the construction industry. The construction industry, as we all know, again, the construction industry is also an indicator of a nation's growth. Um, when a nation develops, the real estate develops, and so does the construction of big buildings. In the construction industry, there is a separate sector. Once the generally the construction industry is equated with civil engineering, but once the building is built, there is a separate sector in the construction industry that is purely run by mechanical engineers and electrical engineers. It is called MEP division, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing division. Mechanical engineers are the ones who design the sewage system, the water system, or the water pressure and dealings, and the things related to it, with it, the fire and safety system, the lift, uh, and so on. The plumbing, the fire and safety, and so on things are designed by mechanical engineers. There's a special section called the MEP division, and then the electrical section also comes. Now, in the construction industry, we have one of the major private players, the L&T, KNR Constructions. If you look, you might have been familiar with these names. L&T is Larsen & Toubro. They employ mechanical engineers in large numbers. They are the biggest private player in construction industry in India, maybe even in the world. The construction industry is also one industry where mechanical engineering graduates target while going to the Middle East. The Middle East, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, UAE, Oman, wherever the biggest employer or the job provider in the Middle East to mechanical engineers is the construction industry, where we can either be employed in the contractor job or the consultancy job, or in the inspection job. There are so many bigger names in Middle East in the construction industry. Now, coming to the next sector is the IT sector. This can actually be, so maybe 99% of the IT sector jobs could be private sector. We know, as we know, Kerala is growing and becoming a major IT hub. We have the TCS, Infosys, and so many startups coming here. TCS is planning a separate building here in Trivandrum. We have the Infosys already having a separate building in Trivandrum. We have newer companies coming in, and the Technopark. We have Technopark different divisions. We also have a Techno City coming in Pallipuram, Kerala, in Trivandrum. We also have different IT parks in Kochi, as well as in the north of Kerala. So you might be thinking, what is the relevance of mechanical engineers in the IT sector? As already mentioned by Arun sir, a mechanical engineer that has a basic knowledge of computer or coding is preferred. You can, if you look through the trends, is preferred in IT sector jobs. This is because whenever a application level job comes in, or a major project comes in, there will be application of mechanical engineering into it. So they would need mechanical engineers that would have a mechanical knowledge as well as coding knowledge. Even so many mechanical engineering graduates are employed in TCS, Tata Elxsi, Infosys, and it is a very lucrative field. The payment is good, the initial payment is good, and also the promotion opportunities are good. And once you identify where you can excel in, and with enough update, keeping up to date with the coding sector or the IT sector or the computer programming segment also, if you keep it up to with it, then I think the prospects of mechanical engineering are huge in IT sector. The next field is the teaching field. Now you might be wondering, why would I include this teaching field in for BTech graduates? Generally, it would be masters. People who do masters are the ones who are involved in teaching field. But this is not the case. Even if you take mechanical engineering, you could be actually involved in trainer, teacher, or instructor in various fields. You could be actually training in industrial training institutes or maybe in polytechnic colleges where the only thing you need is a basic degree in mechanical engineering or what BTech. But because the mechanical engineering field involves so many hands-on experience, it requires hands-on training. BTech graduates with workshop knowledge or industrial knowledge are employed in the Middle East and as well as other outside India, European nations as well as Americans as trainers. If you take these trainer certificates or teaching certificates, which is which could be you write some exams, then you get these trainer certificates maybe in the field of welding or maybe boiler certification, and then you can teach upcoming maybe unskilled workers or lower level skilled workers in this. Next field is the management field. As already mentioned, mechanical engineering might be one of the only branches that gives so much importance to management field in its curriculum. Once I think everyone who learns mechanical engineering will be learning principles of management. Will also be learning marketing management, so and so. Why? Because the industry has decided, or the industry thinks that the mechanical engineers are apt and able to tackle management related, or they are the most equipped to be employed as managers in the engineering related fields, and hence these subjects are included in mechanical engineering fields. You have the principles of management, you have marketing management to learn, and so as Arun sir already mentioned, you will have to learn how to manage resources, how to manage people, how to manage trade unions, and so on. So there are different softwares that that deals with how much time can a project be completed, or how to manage resources, how to manage people, so on. There are so many mechanical engineers employed in the private sector in the management field. Now coming to the refrigeration industry. Now this itself is a different industry. Just like refrigeration industry deals with temperatures that are lesser than say maybe 5 degrees Celsius, refrigeration and air conditioning. This is a very major job provider for mechanical engineers. Every building right now built requires an air conditioning, or your automobile requires air conditioning. Then we also need refrigeration to store our food or to increase shelf life of various products. Mechanical engineers learn heating, ventilation, and air conditioning as a subject, or multiple subjects in your curriculum. Mechanical engineers are the ones solely mechanical engineers or lower level mechanical skilled workers are the only ones that are involved in this refrigeration HVAC industry. Now coming to metallurgy and material science, already said, we need to extract metals, resources, coal, petrol, diesel, crude oil, so on and so. Metallurgy and material science is what provides jobs to mechanical engineers in this field. Now coming to refrigeration industry, we have LG, we have Daikin, we have General. There are so many Carrier, so many private players in the refrigeration industry. Similarly, you also have metallurgy and material science. There are so many mining companies. Vedanta is a very major mining company. Adani Mines, Adani Coal. They all are private sectors that deals with providing jobs with mechanical engineers in this field. These are various. I'll be just taking out the various companies that deals with these sectors. Jaguar Land Rover is recently acquired by Tata. They are all automobile. Land Rover, Tata, Ashok Leyland, all are involved in the automobile sector. ADNOC is a major player in Middle East in the oil sector. Reliance is the largest oil private player in India. Cummins, they are heavy equipment makers that deals with generators. Cummins and Adani, as we know, Adani is building a port in Trivandrum. There are so many jobs that arise mechanical engineers in Adani port. Then Vedanta has already said they are major in mining and metallurgy process. ACB, as we all know, they are heavy earth movers. Larsen & Toubro construction industry, Bosch, they are called German engineering experts. They deal with, they make washing machine. They also make major automobile parts. They make home appliances that all require mechanical engineering knowledge. DLF, they are major property developers in India. Tata Elxsi, they are the one of the automobile software wing of Tata. Tata Consults, TCS service, Tata Consulting Services, deals with the IT sector. Linde, they are involved with the cryogenic sector. Cryogenic sectors deals with temperatures less than minus 150 degrees Celsius. As we all know, during the COVID period, what we very much in need was the liquid oxygen. Now, liquid oxygen, Linde is a company that is a major player in making liquid oxygen. This is a purely mechanical subject where we use pressure and lower temperatures to liquefy oxygen and transport it. They are also involved in refrigeration products. Siemens, a very major player in medical equipments. Thermo Penpol is also again deals with medical equipments, packaging. Penpol is actually in a blood bag. They also manufacture blood bag, and mechanical engineers are in a very high demand during this manufacturing sector. We also have White Hat Junior, which is a coding, and mechanical engineers are actually employed, as I already said, as trainers for coding. LG, refrigeration industry. Flipkart, we also know the retail giant. I think you might know that the founders of Flipkart are engineers. Now, coming to the government sector, as I already said, government sector is jobs provided by either state governments or central government. As we all know, the oil industries, ONGC, IOC sector, oil industries is something the government, has a monopoly over, and they have produced. So, but how to get a government job is you have to crack the gate. Once you crack the gate with mechanical engineering, the gate score, you are actually employed to the government sector when they call for job opportunities. The civil aviation department is where the civil aviation department runs airports. Mechanical engineers are employed in airports. Then DRDO, the Defense Research Laboratories, is already explained by answering the production of missiles, projectiles, weapons, guns, etc. And PWD, Public Works Department, deals with water pipelines, bridges, roads, so and so. And mining and metallurgy, government is the largest job provider in the mining and metallurgy sector. We have the ISRO. ISRO every year calls for mechanical engineers. Sometimes it's specified for refrigeration engineers, sometimes cryogenic engineers or design engineers. Sometimes they may specify or sometimes not specify the field of specialization. But ISRO is a very common employer, and every year they call for job filling up vacancies in their organization. We also have power plants that employ mechanical engineers. Defense is very lucrative sector for mechanical engineers, as well as railways. Railways, as we all know, is the largest employer in India, and I think probably in the world. You have jobs as loco pilots, which or assistant engineers that can be employed in railways. The various.
Sir, what also that railway?
Yes.
Sir, the railway is already under. It's already under like a private sector, right?
Railways. Yeah, not everything is going to be privatized. I think some commercially viable ones, I think they're going to be converted to private sector. But very strategically important ones are I think going to be held up, or So I don't think the government would be letting go of those. Only commercially important ones are, I think, going to be handed over, or loss making routes that can be actually converted to profit making ones if they are handed over to. And I think there's a recent directive from the government that says, some employees need to be kept. Only some of them would be laid off by the private sector. Even in the BSNL also, I think in Air India, in BSNL also, certain talks are going on where not everyone, maybe very senior staff might be laid off. I think the younger ones are going to be kept because, I think employing newer ones would be very difficult for the private sector.
Yes, sir. They are always asking for the experience, even in the same field.
Yeah. Fine. Coming to the public sector, ONGC, HP, Bharat Petroleum, all are public sector oil companies. Bharat Heavy Equipment, they manufacture heavy equipments, earth movers for, it's a government-run company. ISRO has already spoken, the Space Research Organization of India. Coal India deals with our power sector. We still, the major portion of our power is still produced through burning of coal, and Coal India is one of the largest power producer, public power producer in India. Now coming to Indian Railways, as already known, the largest employer, NTPC, National Thermal Power Corporation, NALCO, National Aluminium Corporation, Power Grid Corporation. And then speaking of Kerala, we have the KSRTC, which is run by the government, which is not completely government, but run by the government. We have Cochin Shipyard that makes ships and related equipments. And then we have Kerala Water Authority, which is a major employer for mechanical engineers in Kerala. We have an assistant engineer post that is called, I think, every 2 or 3 years, which is cleared through PSC exams. Now, as I already mentioned, the BTech mechanical engineering graduates are, the job openings are very high inside as well as outside the country. Speaking of outside nations, I think the Middle East is one of the largest job providers for India. Even if, for the last 30, 40 years, people have been telling that job prospects in the Middle East is going down. But every year, we have new graduates going to the Middle East and getting job there. Yeah, it is getting a bit saturated there, but they're also growing. They have the Expo 2020 coming in Dubai right now. Now, I think if we look at the Middle East perspective, only UAE has been developed or has reached its full developed potential, or towards the saturation fee, or only UAE has reached or is nearing saturation. Saudi Arabia is actually going for a major development push. Qatar is going, Oman is going, which means more jobs for mechanical engineers. Why there is a talk that there is a less job opportunities in the Middle East is because UAE is going through saturation, or they are nearing saturation. But UAE is not the only nation in the Middle East. There are many especially Saudi Arabia is seeing a very major push towards a modernization, which actually will open up so much jobs. They are actually even planning a very big railway that will be connecting all the Middle East nations, which is going to be one of the biggest job providing projects in the world. So pursuing mechanical engineering is actually a very good idea if landing a job in the Middle East is one of your targets. But not only Middle East, even European nations, Canada, Australia, UK, USA, we have. But one of the problems with these, you'll have to take any other certification courses or exams that is valid for them. If, for example, CSWIP or NEBOSH, all these are specific courses that needs or certifications that are only they will employ you only if you have certain skill sets and certain certifications. Even if with that they might because of their local population problem, they'll be asking you to either take a master's program or 1 year, 1.5 or 2 year program, and then you can actually apply for PR or go for. You will have to spend some education time or your master's education time in these European nations or the American nations to land a job there. But Middle East is fairly, an easier route if you take a visit visa and go there and apply. Especially once you see modernizing push from.
So, sorry for interrupting, sir. Sir, actually, in the UAE, it's not actually regarding the saturation point. Actually, it's basically they are requiring more skilled laborers who are not certified as a mechanical engineer, but as well as they need to update with the system, right? They are getting updated with the new technology. So our syllabus must be updated so that the people will simply put them in the job based on their certifications.
Fine. Yes. Yeah. One requirement is that we always mechanical engineers will have to take extra courses to get employed in Middle East. This is actually there is a need. There is actually a syllabus gap between the Middle East prospects. So mechanical engineering on-field prospects and what we teach. But generally, these are acquired by doing additional courses after. Generally, what mechanical engineers do is if they're going to make a MEP for construction industry, they do an MEP course, they get a certification, and then go. Or they do a NEBOSH, a fire and safety course, and then they move to the Middle East for jobs. Or if they're going to the oil field, they do. There are various institutes that give piping, oil piping, and oil testing courses. They learn this and then they apply for Middle East jobs. But yes, you are right. There is actually a gap. I think the new syllabus is actually deals with plugging some of these holes. Not all, but the problem with mechanical engineering is not everything can be learned through theory subjects. Mostly only something things that deal with, or the theory part of it can be learned through the syllabus. The rest of would actually should be learned through practice itself. Even if you go as a fresh graduate and you manage to land a job in the Middle East, you will learn the job, I think, in 6 to 8 months. And regarding UAE, I'm someone who was brought up there, and the problem with UAE is they have nearly reached, I wouldn't say they have reached saturation, but they are nearing saturation. They don't want crude mechanical engineers, as you have said. They need very highly skilled mechanical engineers. They don't want, lower. They already have those. They already have mechanical engineers, electrical engineers who have been there 10 years, 15 years ago. So new prospects to them or new jobs to them at these higher salaries is something they can't afford. But still, there is vacancies for younger guys who are ready to work for lower wages. This is something I have.
Yes, sir. There are people are working as technicians as well as they are working in the administration, in the management. Everywhere the people are working. Every industry there is also a mechanical engineer. There is a touch of mechanical engineer. That's the truth. Even we graduate from a mechanical, we should adapt our heart to work in any field, any industry. Just keep in touch with that.
Yes, yes. Now, coming to higher studies, this was something else involved. I included in this slide because job might just not be the only way to continue your targets or in achieving your targets. You could also go for MTech or MS. In India, you can actually go for MTech, clear the gate, then go through an interview, and then maybe get into premier institute like IIT, ISTA, or other institutes in India where you can pursue your MTech. Or you can go to abroad where you generally complete an English fluency test called as IELTS GRE. GRE is in GRE or TOEFL, and then clear it. Then you send a master's proposal to the concerned college and get admitted to the college. This is one way of the foreign universities or foreign nations making sure that you adapt to their education standards. You actually come there, you spend your money there, you take their education, and then you get a job from there. This is one of their ways of doing it. So this is a very commonly pursued approach by many graduates in the last 5 to 6 years going to abroad, especially Germany. Is the Germany, France, etc. are selected as for European targets or education targets by mechanical engineers to pursue their MS. Or you could also go for postgraduate diploma in abroad, or you could also go for management related masters like MBA, which would be 2 years. There are also PGDM, postgraduate diploma in management, or you could actually go for research based subjects after doing an MTech in India. Then actually we give a research proposal to any college in abroad, university abroad, send their proposal and get accepted and pursue your interest in abroad. By this, I hand over this session to complete it to Karishma Miss. Karishma Miss, you may take over.
Thank you, sir. Okay, hello and good evening, everyone. Let me introduce myself. I am Karishma, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering in NACE College. So let us move on with our topics. So, opportunities for women in mechanical engineering. Have you heard about the Mahindra XUV 500? Yes, I guess. You might know all about the specifications of the vehicle, but one thing you don't know is that it was designed by a lady mechanical engineer named Ram Kripa Anandan. She was the diminutive designer who headed the 20-member team of the Mahindra XUV 500. When you take a look into the structure of Mahindra also, you can see that so many crucial and important positions are occupied by lady engineers. This initiative of Mahindra just shuts out all the misconceptions about this evergreen branch. It is always stereotyped that mechanical engineering is not for girls, it is only for boys. I used to wonder why are girls not choosing mechanical engineering. There are so many myths that obscures the beauty of this branch. The first myth is mechanical engineering is only related to physical labor, which will be hard for girls. This is the misconception about the basic significance of the branch. I studied 4 years of BTech in mechanical engineering and did 2 years of MTech in the same, but I did not find any hard labor that girls cannot do. You don't need to be a Bahubali, just a normal human being can do all these works. So it is just a myth. The second myth is if you choose mech, then you will have to work with dirt, oil, grease, and all. See, we engineers are creators. They are meant to do research, design, and analysis. For analysis, we have softwares, so it doesn't require any physical labor. For manual labor, we have the diploma and ITI trained people. All these myths are evolving only due to the lack of awareness. So let us now discuss some rare facts that are unaware about the opportunities for women in mechanical engineering. There are some percentage of vacancies reserved for women mechanical engineer graduates in public sector. Also in IITs and MIT, almost 50% of the seats in mechanical engineering are reserved for women. Companies tend to hire women than men. So your opportunities are as bright as that of boys. So all the girls hearing me, if you wish to have a career in mechanical engineering, never have a second thought, you are on the right place. Next, why at ACE? Our college has well experienced faculties, qualified in various specializations, and graduated from the premium institutes of our country. All faculties have published their research works on conferences and journals. Proper guidance for internships, projects, and also placement training is given to our students. We have Industrial Interaction Cell and CGPU for the placement purposes. We have signed MOUs with different companies, and our strong alumni network is the pillar of strength of our institution. Let's meet our faculties. Our HOD, Professor Shivakumar, he did MBA and MTech in Machine Design. He retired as HOD from College of Engineering, Trivandrum. He has the experience of 36 years in the field of teaching. Next is Dr. Subian. He did his PhD in energy engineering and have more than 20 years of teaching experience. Mr. Alamin did his MTech in thermal engineering and have 7 years of teaching experience. Mr. Shamchand did his MTech in propulsion engineering and have 7 years of experience. Mr. Afzal KF did his MTech in machine design and have 7 years of teaching experience. Mr. Arun Raj did his MTech in machine design and have 7 years of experience. Mr. Afzal Mohammed did his MTech in industrial refrigeration and cryogenics and have 4 years of teaching experience. Mr. Babamon did his MTech in propulsion engineering and have 5 years of experience. Mr. Nandubhadran did his MTech in machine design and have 4 years of teaching experience. And myself, Karishma, I did my MTech in machine design and have 2 years of experience. Next up, we will see the lab facilities in our college. Our college provides excellent lab facilities for students. We have well-maintained workshops with all the necessary equipments and testing machines required for their curriculum as well as projects. We have trained and experienced instructors for each lab. We offer them proper and technical guidance in all the machines. They are also given practical lessons on softwares like CAD. We have the CNC machines, which are the future of manufacturing industry. Our students get trained in programming, which is much needed in operating the CNC machine. This will help them when they go into an industry. Next up, it's the students' achievement and activities. Our students have worked hard and brought good results in workshops and projects. In the go-kart making workshop, our students have successfully made a two-stroke petrol engine racing kart from discarded automobile parts. And this is another achievement of our students. Our students created a self-balancing two-wheeler prototype. Next, our college provides students with industrial visits, which will help them in familiarizing the industries and manufacturing units. They are given frequent and adequate training before they get graduated. A college is not just the place of technology, but also a place to improve your skills and talent. We have a literary club where students take part in debates and literary programs, which will help them to enhance their communication skills. This offers a platform for them to showcase their skills and talent. Literary Club conducts debate competitions every year. We have a badminton academy named Toss Academy, which comes under the Manarul Huda Trust. Those students who are interested in sports are given good guidance and support from the college management. Students interested in sports are given scholarships, and staffs are ready to bring them up both in sports and studies. Devang Gopalakrishnan of our college is the KTU badminton champion, and he is also the bronze medalist in All Kerala Senior Single Shuttle Badminton Championship. Next, we come to the cultural programs. We have the Epoch, that is our Inter-College Techno-Cultural Fest, which is being conducted every year. It includes project presentations, debates, games, and so many more. In addition to this, fests are conducted. We have faculty, especially for physical education in our college. As a result of their hard work, our kabaddi team and handball team has won prizes in various tournaments. Now let us check the academic excellence of our students. These are the toppers of our college. We have toppers in all the semesters. Next, we come to the campus placements. Our college has good placement record. Companies like TCS, Byju's, and Acubits have hired our students. All of them are working with a good pay scale. This is a placement unit. There is a placement unit for the college to coordinate all those. In addition to that, there is a department industrial interaction cell which will act as an interface between the industry and students. This helps them to get placed in core industries much easier. These are our meritorious students of our college. Next, we come to the Association of Mechanical Engineers, Chakra. It is the association of all the students in our department. We have both staff and student coordinators to monitor and guide its functioning. There are so many activities done under the association Chakra, like conducting workshops, giving special CNC training, providing seminars, etc. This also helps in enhancing the organizing skills and leadership abilities of our students. It is a common platform for both students and faculties to open up their ideas and skills. I have already told that we have CNC machines in our college. Usually, you won't see CNC machines in all the colleges. Here, we train our students how to work on a CNC machine. We provide hands-on experience for students in the CNC machine. They are given training under Chakra. Talks are conducted on the banner of Chakra by our eminent staff members. Our HOD Shivakumar sir delivered a webinar on the topic aerodynamics in cars. Mr. Afzal Mohammed, along with one of our students, conducted a webinar on automated transmission system in vehicles. Mr. Arun Raj presented a webinar on the topic technology behind Vivo X50, and Dr. Subian delivered a webinar on the topic material science in real life. So this is all about our department and our college. I hope that this was informative to you. For all the students who are looking forward to join engineering, this is the right place for you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your valuable time. Now you can ask any questions and your doubts. I think there are no inquiries, no questions. So thank you everyone for your valuable time. Thank you for hearing. Thank you so much.